Hi. So I was helping one of your classmates with this challenge number 3, and it occurred to me that this is not the way people usually write code. You're given a starter thing, you're supposed to add little bits to it, and they gave you like all the instructions about how to add the code. And that's not the way I write software professionally. When I was in college, I had a girlfriend, and we lived on a floor with 6 other couples. And at the end of the week, we'd all get together and share whatever leftovers we had from the week, and we'd cook some sort of a casserole. We never knew what we were going to get because, it was random potluck. But my girlfriend always started by frying an onion. And she said that the smell kind of got the juices flowing, and then she would know what to add and what she could make after that. So that's actually the approach that I take when I write code, is that I don't write the entire program and then try to fix it. I write it a piece at a time and verify what I just added. Once I'm happy that it works, then I add some more. I call it code a little, test a little. So to do this, we need to keep the online classes that we've already done. So these are the lesson plans. Here's the lesson plans for the Pythons. So all the example code that we've used so far, we can borrow from, right? And you should steal like a Banshee. The other thing is that I had a friend in college named Matt Hatley, and he had this car that was really fast, and he was always talking about how it screamed like a Banshee. And ultimately, everything he did was like a Banshee, and he would steal code like a Banshee. And so that's the other thing I want to share with you, is that we're going to learn to steal like a Banshee, right? Reuse code that you've already written, because you don't want to duplicate effort. So let's go back and look at what this program does. So we want the voter turnout for each county, we want the percentage of votes from each county, and the county with the highest turnout. Okay, so here's an example, write Netflix solved. I know that we read in CSVs, we wrote CSVs, so I'm just going to steal like a Banshee from this code. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. And just for grins, I'm going to go ahead and test that. I mean, there's nothing there. Python PyPoll challenge starter code.py. Okay, so there are no errors so far, so I'm in good shape. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, so far so good. We've got a CSV path. Tell you what, let's print that and just make sure that that works. When I rerun this program, I just hit the up arrow. That's another thing that'll speed up your programming. Okay, so that looks like the right path to me. Let's do the next step. So here's our example code. Here is how to open a file and create a CSV reader. We're going to want to read the header. I'm going to print that out to make sure that works. And I'm going to reader. I like that. It's a short name. So let's try that. Okay, so there you go. That looks like the same line. Let's go back to the election results. And sure enough, that's the same file. So far so good. My program is working, and I've got my header. Okay, so now that I've got the header, I know I want to read one line for each row, right? And I've got an example of how that works. Got to watch my variable names. That's fine though. Okay, so that's just going to spew out 10,000 values. Hit Control-C to stop, or you can wait for it to finish. Okay, so we obviously don't want to do that every time. So what is the first thing that we want to do is copy the requirements. Okay, so the voter turnout for each county. Now to get that, I'm going to have to capture the county from the row. So that's the first thing I'm going to want to do. Let's get the county name equals row sub something. I don't know what. Let's go back to the election results. So the county was the second field in the row, but the number is zero based, so it's going to be field number 1. Let's do that. And let's print that out and make sure that works. On that. Okay, that looks right. Now, one thing I don't like using these numbers. I think that's really hard to read. So I'm going to create a constant up here, and it's going to be county column. And this is just my way of self-documenting my code. So I know that I'm getting the county column in. Let's run that real quick. Yep, looks good. So let's stop there. So far so good. We've got the county name. Now, we need the county turnout for each county. And as you saw, there's tons of the same name, so we can't just spew them out. So let's capture all the counties. Now, I think I mentioned last time that dictionaries are like the Swiss Army knife of the programmer. So county dict, we'll just create a county dictionary. And what I'll do is every time I come across a county name, I'm going to put it into the county dictionary. And I'm just going to give it a value of 0 for now. So what this is doing is it's putting this 0 into this dictionary every single time it finds the county. Now, if it finds Denver the first time, it'll just create an entry, put a 0 there. And if it finds it again, no problem. It'll put it in the same place. So what this is doing is it's collapsing all of the county names into one dictionary. Okay, let's run that. And look, there's Jefferson, Denver, and Arapahoe. So those, and we're off to a good start here. We can see that these have zeros in them, right? Which means that like now all we have to do is like increment the count every time we add an element. So what we need to do is to figure out if the county name is already in the county dictionary. So what I can do there is say if the county name in county dict, then county dict equals county dict plus 1. Okay, so I've screwed something up, right? Somehow I don't have any values in my dictionary. So we know that this worked up until this point. So whatever I added is the thing that I broke, okay? And the reason it's not working is that the county dictionary is empty, so the county name is never in the dictionary, so I never execute this line of code. So I have to have an else here that says county, I have to put back my county dict of county name equals 0, because I never put that in to begin with. That was the piece of code I had before, but I took it out. So now let's run this and see how we do. And there we go. So, I mean, those numbers look reasonable. The first requirement, voter turnout for each county. I kind of don't like this line of code. You see here I've got county dict twice. I'm going to fix this by doing a plus equals. Okay, it's working. So let's go back and see if it still works. Still works. Okay. So now I've got some very elegant code that calculates the county turnout. All right, let's look at the next requirement. The percentage of votes from each county out of the total count. Okay, so how do I get that? So I don't have a total count in here, right? How do you do the total count? Well, basically for each row, I need to say the total count plus equals 1, right? So for every row, it'll add 1 to the count. Let's just do that. Wait, what's this? Total count is not defined. Okay, yeah, so Python, like many computing languages, really likes it if you define your variables before you use them. Total count equals 0. And we should probably print the total count. See if we got it right. And there you go. That looks reasonable. Let's do a sanity check, see if we got the right numbers here. 38854 plus 306054 plus 24800 equals, ooh, they're not the same numbers. 369711 and 369708. So what did I do wrong? Oh, you know where I got it wrong? I am off by 3, and the reason is that I set that value equal to 0 when there was no county in the dictionary. I wanted to set it equal to 1, not 0, because it's there. I have to put it into the dictionary. So let's try this again. Yep, there we go. That's a 1 by 5. So yes, this is now correct. Okay, so this is the expected result so far. So that's the total. And the requirement was what? The percentage of votes from each county out of the total count. Well, that's really pretty simple, right? Oh, this is not how you iterate across the keys in Python. I'd forgotten how to do this. So let's ask Python, let's ask Google, Python iterate over dictionary. So how to iterate through a dictionary. So I can do .keys. Okay, let's give that a try. .keys. Okay, there we go. And go. All right, so, oh, that's a really ugly number. That is very ugly. Look at that. So that's not really a percentage. So I need to multiply this by 100. Okay. All right, and I want to truncate this if I can. So let's see if there isn't a way to round in Python. Python round. Python round function. Oh, okay. So apparently you give it the number and the number of decimal places to round to. So let's go ahead and add that. Round, comma, 2. And let's give that a try. Something's not right. There we go. Missing a parentheses. I notice here this parentheses is in red, which tells me that I have unbalanced parentheses someplace. And I realize that this is an extra one, so I'm taking that one off. So there's my total value. You know what? This is getting confusing with all the parentheses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suck this value out. Percent equals that. And then what I want to do is do this. Round the percent to 2 digits. There we go. And that just reads so much better. I mean, I was getting confused with all the parentheses. That looks nice. Oh, let's put a little percent sign at the end. There we go. Let's do that. All right, that's not bad. I'll take that. Okay, so we've satisfied the second requirement, percentage of votes from each county out of the total count. The county with the highest turnout. So that would be the county that has the maximum number of votes. Count max votes. I'll set that equal to 0 first for now. To get that, what I need to do is compare the number of votes so far. You know what? I'm going to change this. That county dict, that says what it is, not what it has in it. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to county votes. I think that's easier to read and understand. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense. So now what I want to say is if the max votes is greater than the county votes, so county name, then set the max votes equal to the county votes of the name. Boom. All right. Okay, oh, it's 0? That's not right. Oh, I've got this backwards. If maximum vote, this should be if the maximum votes is less than the number of votes in the county. So as this number increases, we'll get the maximum votes. There we go. So one of these counties had 306,055. Now I can look up here and I can see that it's Denver, but there's no easy way to look that up. So what I should probably do is also create the max value. It doesn't matter what it is. And when I actually record the max votes, I can say that the max county name is equal to the county name. And then down here I'll say max votes Okay, let's print that out. And max votes is Denver with 306,055. So that then is the complete set of requirements. Okay, so I didn't do the part where we write it out to a file. I'll leave that as an exercise to the student. But you can see that the two principles I used, which was one, fry an onion. Just start with something small, just to get the juices flowing, and then incrementally add code or ingredients and test every time you add something. If something breaks, then you know that whatever it was you just added is what the problem is. The second principle is steal like a banshee. Use the examples from the coursework and also from our lectures, because you can reuse all of that stuff. There's no point in trying to memorize it. There's no point in trying to reinvent the wheel. Steal like a banshee. So, hope that this helps, and I will see you in our next class.